What's up, guys? This is Ringside Geeks, your home for the best in professional wrestling podcasting. I said it. It's out there. Take that, Sam Roberts podcast. What's up?
Ooh.
Just because you sit at the desk.
Fired.
You sit at the desk next to my future ex-wife,
shade.
Charlie Caruso. Who do you think you are?
Lucky.
All right, that's
He's not even that good anyways, but...
That's too far.
And that hair, am I right?
Yeah, for real, though.
It's too far. I don't really know the man. He's probably a very nice man.
He's probably the kindest, gentlest human. Yes.
Right.
Sam
But
Roberts,
that hair, though.
you apologize.
But this is Ringside Geeks, where we don't give a damn about Sam Roberts.
Yeah.
My name is Dave. What's up? Come at me, bro. People still say
boy.
that? Do people still say that? I don't know. I'm
at him on Twitter, bro.
Don't do that. Joining me this fine evening is the current never open weight champion, Monroe. Is that a thing?
Oh, me.
Is that a thing? Did I name a real title?
That's a real title.
Sweet. All right, so it's her.
Mine.
That's her.
Take that, Suzuki.
Right. And the master of the match star rating, Maeve Deltzer, a.k.a. John.
The champ is here.
Sure is. You'll notice in a voice that's missing, it's Tom. And the ceremonial ripping of his scorecard, because he's not here. I no longer need it. Tom cannot join us tonight. He is having internet issues, he says. I think he just wants to drink a little bit.
Excuses.
That's his thing. All right, we got a big show. Very big show. Really big show. That's an impression for all people who are older than me. We got a lot to talk about, so we're going to dive into it. Let's jump in with reviewing the New Japan G1 in USA specials. I can't remember. It had a super long name. I can't remember. It's the G1 special from the United States of America. That's what I'm going to call it. And in that 2-day event, they crowned a IWGP United States champion. Not just a United States champion, the first IWGP United States champion, in a very gorgeous looking belt. We also got to see Cody. You will not hear that other name on this broadcast, JR. Take on the IWGP Heavyweight Champion, Kazuchika Okada. Did I say that right?
Good
You
job.
got it.
You're damn right I did, JR. I said it right. You have not said it right. Many times in that broadcast, I heard you say something very wrong.
Kazuka.
I didn't.
Kazuka.
They all like to say Kazuka. I don't get it, but all right.
Kazoos Okada.
Kazoo.
Q, Edge, and Christian. I got them on the show. They're my get. Here they come. Nope, they're not here. Okay, I lied. So let's talk just the matches first before we get into the tournament itself. There's various matches. Mostly, I mean, from what I got from it, and you guys can tell me if I'm wrong, this is them, New Japan being them, their opportunity to showcase what they do in Japan to the general American public.
Correct.
North American, maybe. Not even just American. So you got to see a lot of multi-man tag matches, which is what they do.
Yep.
But they were also trying to stack the card with as much talent as they could, and combining kind of the Ring of Honor roster with their own, so that you had some familiar names that you might recognize, like Trent Beretta, or I guess as he's known as now, just Beretta. The Briscoes, Rocky Romero,
Lethal.
Jay Lethal, yep, definitely Jay Lethal.
Sure.
Jay White had a big weekend. He had a big weekend, so some names that you recognize, and definitely, I mean, I don't know if anybody else was expecting it. I think we all were, but the Bullet Club heavily featured on both days, and extremely over with the Los Angeles crowd, which is no surprise to anyone. I mean, the crowd was maybe 70% wearing Bullet Club shirts. So, maybe that's an over-exaggeration, but it seemed like it was everywhere. And that's to be expected.
And I mean, that's kind of what you would expect heading into the United States, when they go into a New Japan show. Hell, you go to a Ring of Honor show anymore. I mean, Monroe and I were watching NXT last night, and we were seeing Young Buck shirt, Kenny Omega shirts. Like, it's everywhere.
Yeah,
for sure. They're making a lot of money off of merchandise.
Yeah, as I think Cody said in an interview, they're just printing money with all of their merchandise. And as we found out Saturday night, that exclusive Hot Topic deal.
Yeah.
which is true. I saw a tweet by Adam Cole. He saw a Bullet Club shirt at Hot Topic.
No, it's definitely true. And actually, they sold so well at Hot Topic. They were originally just going to be at select locations, and now they're at every location. So
Hot Topic does not make clothes that fit Dave, but someday. Well, I'll just order it from ProWrestlingTees.com.
You got it.
Go.
That's where I got mine.
That's where I got my hoodie. So yeah, just the basic matches. Nothing that was title worthy or tournament worthy. What was your highlights of just the straight up matches this weekend, John?
Just the singles matches?
Yeah, or the big tag matches or whatever.
Well, the first day, I think a lot of people are gonna look at these cards, and the opening contest is not gonna stick out to them. But the first showcase match between the Bullet Club, it was the Bucks, Fale, and
Marty.
Oh, I forget who. What's that?
Marty Scurll and Takahashi.
Right, that match against the Briscoes,
Chaos,
Will Ospreay,
Rocky Romero and Beretta,
and Roppongi Vice. Yeah, that match to me was really good. It was a match. It did what it was designed to do. Like, just let these guys hit their spots, get over with the crowd, and it worked. It was actually a lot better than I expected it to be. So that match was really solid. I can't sit here and say that Cody and Okada had this incredible match because it was good, but for me it wasn't like it's the best match Cody's probably ever going to have, but I still don't think that that's saying that much, unfortunately. So that is what it is, and I think if there's any match that really we'll talk about the disappointments later, I think, but I still don't understand why they had badass Billy Gunn challenging Tanahashi for the title. That just kind of threw a wet blanket on the entire evening,
I think that was again more of the name recognition for
Yeah, it just didn't do any favors.
Sure, I get it. My highlights of the first night was that Brandy came out with her husband. That was great.
That entrance was awesome.
Yeah.
With the presidents and that was very cool.
And Brandy.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's gorgeous.
All right, Monroe, highlights for you outside of the tournament?
Oh, outside of the tournament?
Yeah, we'll dig into that as a separate topic.
Well, yeah, I guess that tag team match that he brought up, I enjoyed it. Not as much as he did, but it was fun.
Because you're not big on the Young Bucks?
I'm not huge on the Young Bucks. I mean, I don't have anything against them.
Or Marty.
Marty.
No, that's not what I was saying. Another match that I guess highlight that we should mention is Beretta moving into the heavyweight division after his tag team contest the second night. That match was pretty good too. Bucks versus Roppongi Vice for the titles.
Right.
Yeah.
And she might not like the Young Bucks, but I gotta say, I have just been so impressed with those guys. Every time I've seen them out recently, they have taken over the match and been these standout performers. And for a couple of guys who get a lot of shit from the rest of the wrestling world, I have to say I'm becoming bigger and bigger fans of theirs every time they go out there.
I'll say I don't like the style of their merch. Not a fan.
Not a fan? Doesn't bother me.
That's a minor thing.
Oh yeah. Oh, I know.
Well, one thing that happened early, I guess not early, mid-card of the first night, the Guerrillas of Destiny lost their newly acquired Tag Team Championship back to War Machine.
Yeah, that was a little bit slower paced than I thought it would be. Mm-hmm. And I think, well, they were two big tag teams, so I don't know what I was expecting, because those guys aren't going to fly around. And it was cool that they added in the no disqualification stipulation. So you got to see some cool spots and stuff. But and War Machine is a great tag team. I love watching them compete, but I've seen them have better matches, admittingly.
Sure. I think the thing for me, though, I had watched the last New Japan event, and they had just lost those titles. So it's, I'm not a big fan of the hot potato title thing.
Yeah, no.
And I wasn't, I would have liked to have seen Guerrillas of Destiny kind of maintained that heel status with those titles for a little longer, but whatever. It's no skin off my back. I could care less, but it just kind of disappointed me a little bit when I saw that they lost already.
Yeah, same here. I didn't care for that too much either. It's like, why did you have them lose in the first place then?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So.
Surprises. Now overall, not basically from results, but surprises from matches. Anybody surprise you? First, second night doesn't really matter.
As far as like performances,
yeah,
I can't say anybody surprised me because, I think a lot of people are going to say, well, Juice Robinson surprised me, but I've known for a while now, Juice Robinson, he really has stepped up his game, and I'm so glad that he got a chance to show it. I just wish he would have won, because he was somebody I really looked forward to seeing. And when he came out there, he really lit that crowd up. And I hope they were watching that, because they should have seen it. I don't know if anybody else saw it, but like the crowd was lit for Juice. So I wanted to see him get an opportunity for a mid-card title or something like that in the future very soon, because he deserves it.
Thinking about if he had won, though, I mean, I really dug that Zack Sabre Ishii match.
Oh, absolutely. But I think
yes.
I would have liked Juice Ishii just as much.
I think they would have.
I really would have.
I feel like they probably would have put Juice and Naito against each other at that point then.
And that would have been...
Sure. I'm not complaining.
Their
either
match
way.
was awesome. They had one earlier this year that was incredible. So, you really can't go wrong there. I mean, Zack Sabre Jr., not to take anything away from the guy, he's a fantastic technical wrestler. But, if we're talking about guys who impressed, I would say Juice Robinson for sure. And Zack Sabre Jr., too. I think he's going to have an awesome G1. Both of those guys are going to be in the G1 Climax. So, if you're a fan of New Japan, you're going to get to see a lot of them over the next month.
Monroe, any surprises or anything that kind of blew the doors off you?
Not really. Just like John said, it wasn't really surprising. A lot of this stuff we already knew. Mm-hmm. But if I were to pick out somebody that impressed me for the weekend or whatever, it would be Michael Elgin. His match with Omega was awesome. And I knew he was talented, but he really got a chance to show just how talented he really is this past weekend, and I'm so happy for that. Juice did great, but Elgin stood out to me.
Do you think, and I know how I feel about it, but do you think Elgin kind of made a name for himself as far as a title chance, like a heavyweight title chance?
I mean, logically, yes. I mean, that's how it should go, but yeah, I mean, he was great this weekend. That match was awesome.
I have a feeling Elgin's going to get a very lengthy run in the G1. He's not going to be one of those guys that loses more matches than he wins. He's going to win more matches. Juice and Zack Sabre Jr. are going to take more pinfalls, I think. But, look, I mean, the three guys we just talked about, they're all going to be in the G1 Climax. I'm really excited for this tournament. I can't wait for the next month. But, Elgin had a great night, too. Definitely.
Mm-hmm.
All right, let's talk about the main event from night one, which was Okada and Cody. I know John touched on it a little bit, but I kind of want to dig into the details of it, which kind of saw I don't know what you call it, a relapse of what happened with Okada and Omega when Cody came down to throw in the white towel. But this time, Omega justifiably was doing it because Cody was getting the crap kicked out of him. But I'm sure it wasn't just to save his buddy Cody. It was more of, you thought I wasn't going to make it. Look at you. You're not even a half hour in and you're dying. And Brandy stopped him. The Bucks kind of stopped him. And eventually, he didn't really do it. And I think Cody wiped his face with the thing and threw it out back at him when he realized what it was, maybe. Am I remembering that wrong?
His butt, too.
And his butt, yeah.
Wiped his butt. Mm-hmm.
So basically, that match and the commentary throughout the night wanted you to believe that there was some question as to who the leader of the Bullet Club really is. Kind of going through the whole weekend, they wanted you to feel this way, and it was kind of maybe a little bit planted at Dominion with the whole Cody Rhodes thing, and then Cody challenging Okada. but not really enough to make you think who's the real leader here. At least I didn't get that impression. But then JR talked about it quite a bit. Anytime the Bullet Club, or at least Omega and Cody, were involved. But your thoughts, we already got John's thoughts, so I want to touch on Monroe. Your thoughts on that main event with Okada and Cody.
It was better than I expected. I have talked about Cody's in-ring work before and how, in my opinion, I guess, he's lacking in-ring. I mean, he hasn't really improved that much since he left the WWE. And now I kind of figured that we could trust Okada to bring out the best in Cody Rhodes, and that's exactly what happened. It was a good match. As far as the part with Omega goes, I don't know where they're going with that and the whole towel thing and the whole who's the leader, whatever. More than likely just going to end up Omega leaving the Bullet Club and him feuding against Cody. I mean, I don't know. I mean, yeah, whatever. But as far as the match goes, yeah, it was better than I expected it to be.
All right. How do you feel about the Bullet Club angle? I mean, they were heavily featured all weekend, which is no surprise to anybody. But how do you feel about the booking of that storyline as far as Cody, Omega, who the leader is, and who are they really following? Because then on, night 2, you had Bullet Club going up against Elgin and War Machine. Or, no, I'm sorry, that's a different match. The Bullet Club with Bad Luck Fale, Cody, Marty Scurll, and Takahashi going against Chaos. So basically the same match as the night before, just a little bit shuffling around with the personnel. But, they kind of had Cody playing it up like I'm rallying the troops to be on my side type of thing. How did you feel about that, John? Where do you think they're going?
I don't really know where they're going. Obviously, it's going to lead to some kind of, I would think it's going to lead to some kind of split. But I'll harken back to something I said on this podcast a while back when we were talking about Adam Cole. And the only reason I'm bringing his name up is because I feel like if Adam Cole had stuck around in New Japan, he would be where Cody is right now, and he would have been the guy to have that match against Okada, and he would have been that guy to be kind of maybe more or less like in line to take over the Bullet Club from Kenny Omega. And I really wish it was him and not Cody, because I want to buy into Cody and everything that's going on right now, but I can't do it. He's too how do I put this? The stink from his WWE run has not worn off for me yet. To me, when I see him, I still think, oh, there's a WWE guy, if that makes any sense. And I don't want that guy to be the leader of the Bullet Club or an IWGP champion. I don't want to see it, So I think they're going to go with Cody taking over the Bullet Club at some point and Omega splitting off, probably at some point leaving for WWE or just having a great run as a neutral face over in Japan. But yeah, I don't know how strong the Bullet Club will be with Cody as its leader as opposed to Kenny Omega. Because listen, Cody just does not bring what Kenny Omega does to the table. It's just facts.
Well, I'll be honest, when Kenny was taking over in lieu of AJ leaving, I didn't think he could do it. I didn't see him as the level of guys like, that were before him, Devitt or AJ.
Really?
Yeah. Oh, no. I didn't at all. I thought it was kind of a big step down. Again, I didn't really know much back then, but at the same time, I mean, I didn't know a lot about Finn, but I felt like he was better.
That's a good point. I look at Cody and like I said, I can't, he doesn't feel like, it doesn't feel right to me.
Yeah.
I'd rather, if they're going to make Cody be the leader of the Bullet Club, I'd rather they just scrap the whole Bullet Club idea at that point and just dissemblate it and let these guys go out and do their own thing. Because I don't like the look of a former WWE guy coming into New Japan and leading the faction that kind of brought New Japan to where it is today. In a sense, I know that they didn't, but they were a key component in New Japan's rise. So, just my 2 cents.
Okay. I don't know. I don't see the former WWE guy thing being an issue to me.
Okay.
As long as he can prove his worth, where he's not just kind of riding on the name.
Fair enough.
He's got to prove himself. Obviously, I'm not saying you just throw it at him. But he hasn't. Yeah, and hasn't
that's as an aside. That's another reason why so they released the G1 lineup, and I really expected Cody to be in the G1 this year, and part of me was kind of hoping that he was, because he could then prove himself,
put some time
in the G1 climax and show that he can have a bunch of really good matches, because I just still haven't seen it. So, I wish him the best. He's got a great look. He's got a great gimmick right now. And he's got a lot of momentum, but he's got New Japan, there's more to it than just that, So we'll see.
Sure.
We'll see where it goes.
All right, well, let's talk about the tournament now before we wrap up our G1 weekend stuff. The tournament itself featured, the first night was Jay Lethal versus Hangman Page, Sabre versus Juice Robinson, Ishii versus Naito, and Omega versus Mike Elgin. Basically, Lethal won, Sabre won, Ishii won, Omega won, to set up your semifinals for the next day. Favorite match of the tournament from night one, Monroe?
I'm gonna say Omega Elgin, I guess.
Okay, it was a good match.
Yeah, it was. Elgin
came out strong for sure. That was a good match. What about you, John? What was your favorite?
Yeah, Elgin Omega for sure.
Okay. Yeah, I would agree. The other ones were good too, but I just felt more emotion in that match. I have no idea why. It's Kenny Omega. He makes 5-star matches.
Oh boy.
Hey, it's his slogan, not mine. All right, so then we move on to night 2, where it would be Omega and Lethal, and then Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr. to qualify for the finals. Thoughts on those 2 matches, John?
Great stuff. I really liked Ishii and Zack Sabre Jr., as we discussed before.
Mm-hmm.
So most underrated performer of the weekend, far and away, Tomohiro Ishii.
Yes.
His work, this guy is probably the most underappreciated wrestler in New Japan, and has been for a really long time.
Yep.
He has a 5-star presence. He always steps up when he needs to, like in a tournament setting like this, which is why he's going to be in the G1 as well. And my goodness, I can't wait to see this guy. Every time he comes to the ring, I'm excited to watch him compete, because he is a unique entity, unlike anything else you're going to see. And he always, like I said, he always seems to come through. So, and I also want to give props to Jay Lethal, who I honestly did not expect much from this weekend, but that match with Omega was pretty solid. He had actually a couple really solid matches this weekend, so props to Jay Lethal.
All right, Monroe, your thoughts on those 2 matches?
Yeah, they were pretty good. I really liked the Ishii Sabre match also. I'm all for the technical wrestling, but it's just something about Ishii, man. I know it doesn't make sense, I guess, logically, but I was really hoping that he would win the U.S. title. Like, that's how much of a fan I am of Ishii, and this weekend only confirmed that. He is just so good. He has great chemistry with Omega, and he can have a good match with just about anybody. Definitely underrated. And I wish he got a long title run. I think he deserves one, but yeah, his match with Sabre was my favorite out of those 2.
And then that leads to the final, which you kind of touched on, Omega and Ishii with Omega being the first United States champion. Thoughts on that result or on the match itself?
Kenny Omega, MVP of the weekend. Just, if you're gonna go out there and you're gonna say that you are a match of the year factory, you kind of have to prove it. And it's just like this guy does it every time he goes out there. I didn't really care for the match at Dominion. I'm not changing my stance on that. But when he goes and has 20 to 30 minute matches, I don't know if there's a guy better in the business right now. Okada can give him a run for his money, but Kenny Omega in those sprint type, just really quick, fast paced, exciting matches, whoa, man, he is just phenomenal. And by God, that spot where Ishii is about to get Snapdragon suplexed through the table on the outside, and Ishii bites the freaking rope. That was so awesome. That was the coolest moment of the entire weekend for me. And yeah, that match for sure was the best match of the entire weekend, if not just for that spot alone. I love that match. Ishii and Omega could just fight forever. Go for it.
All right, Monroe, your thoughts?
Yes, the match was awesome. I've said it before, I'll say it again. Kenny Omega has the best high knee in the business. My God, he can do that forever. He can do it the whole match, and I'll be perfectly fine with it. But yeah, the match was awesome. He's so great when it comes to those spurts of speed. God, he's unstoppable. MVP for me is still Ishii. I'm sorry, Ishii shined in that match. I know Kenny Omega he's a 5-star factory, whatever. Ishii shined to me. The rope spot that you mentioned just goes to show how great this guy is. And like I said, I really was hoping that he would win, but I know it didn't make sense, but whatever. But overall, it's still just a phenomenal match. Definitely the best of the weekend.
Sometimes the best things don't make sense, like current WWE Heavyweight Champion.
Or current WWE, period.
I said the best things don't make sense, but... all right. Disappointments. What the negatives?
Well, what did you think, Dave?
Of that match?
Of the tournament and that match, and yeah, who would you say were your MVPs, and what were your thoughts overall?
I kind of reflect the same things. Like, I was impressed with Zack Sabre Jr. I was, Kenny Omega, of course. I this is what I expected from Kenny. I also expected it to be a pretty much heavily featuring Kenny all weekend. I kind of feel like when they sat down to renegotiate his contract, this was part of it. This weekend, like, this is our plan, Kenny. This is what we want for you.
Makes a lot of sense.
This is what's going to happen in July. This is why we want you here, and this is where you're going to be. And not to say that that's what put him over to re-sign, but it was a good plan. I think it was a successful weekend for New Japan overall. I had no problems with the weekend. I was a little disappointed with night 2 because I felt like it was night 1 redo. I felt like a lot of the matches outside the tournament, of course, were similar to the same matches they had the day before.
Okay.
Whereas I felt like there was more people on that roster they could have featured, but they didn't. And that, I get it. They really want to get the bigger names and stuff out there to the people that want to see them. They want to see LIJ and that, everybody from the Bullet Club, all of them, and they want to see Roppongi Vice, even though that was them, kind of breaking up, so they had that little moment in the ring, and of course Ospreay and all those guys. I can't off the top of my head think of names, but I knew there was some missing from this weekend that I probably would have liked to see maybe on night 2 to kind of vary it up a little bit, but whatever. It is what it is. It wasn't that big a deal to me. It just kind of felt a little slow in that aspect.
Okay.
Because I felt like I watched the day before. That's all. Because then, in between that, the tournament made up for that. So, whatever. It is what it is. The whole card can't be perfect. But yeah, otherwise, I think it was a good weekend of wrestling. And I think with New Japan doing this, I think it's a good time to be a wrestling fan.
Yeah, you and I talked about that for sure.
With this, not necessarily with whatever is happening in TNA. I don't even want to get into it.
Yeah,
Global Force blah 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 presents Impact Wrestling. It's a super long name now, but welcome to your Thursday nights or whatever night it's on. Is it still Thursdays? All right,
I think so.
Yes.
Yeah, I think it's
Yes.
somebody knows. Jeff Jarrett knows.
Yeah.
We'll get him on the phone. We'll ask him. But you know, with WWE clearly trying to do new things and New Japan expanding and trying to broaden their audience, I think it can only get better. Things can only go up, and I think that's a good thing. So all right, so I've said what disappointed me. What about you guys? And I'm not looking for this to be a long conversation. This is us wrapping up. I don't think there is a lot of things that disappointed. So, but you gotta talk the good and the bad.
Yeah. Don't understand why we decided to have Billy Gunn in the
right, you brought that up.
either night, because both nights just did nothing for me.
Mm-hmm.
And I gotta say it because it's been bothering me all week. You know, I've been a fan of Jim Ross for a really long time. I grew up. My pro wrestling memories are dotted with Jim Ross, right? Mick Foley flying off the top of Hell in a Cell and the calls he made there. Really, like, monumental stuff. Love the guy. Tons of respect for the guy. He was so unprepared for this, and it really rubbed me the wrong way, because it seemed to me like this guy was kind of he's like a chicken with his head cut off. I don't understand how he did not prepare for this if he's getting paid to do this job. Some of the comments that he made that almost buried the product while you're watching it. It's really frustrating stuff. Love JR, but I don't know if he's going to be back calling New Japan. And that was definitely not his best effort. So disappointing on that front. The production could have used a little work too. I know that they did not bring the New Japan production crew. Those were AXS TV guys working production. So that may have had something to do with it. But my main complaint was the commentary. Very disappointing.
All right. Monroe.
Well, what's left to say that hasn't been said? Yeah, I think more than anything, it was the production issues for me. I know you guys said you didn't hear it, but I was hearing mic issues with the commentary team and everything on my end. As far as like the music not starting right, or just I don't know. It felt like they were trying too hard to not mess up, and they were messing up. You know what I mean? But other than that, it was still a fine weekend. I must say, though, and this is strictly just me, I'm not a huge fan of the Bullet Club. There, I said it. I get it. We have a troll culture now in America, and they represent that, and they're so funny and witty. I get it. And don't get me wrong, the guys are super talented. All of them are super talented. And it only made sense because they are so popular here in America for them to be featured so heavily during this weekend. It only made sense. And I know it's just the first weekend in America, whatever. But, I'm an LIJ fan. I wanted more evil, or Bushi, as JR called them. I wanted more LIJ. That's who was missing. I'm ready for them to have their time, their spot. I know this weekend probably wasn't the time to do it. I get it. Right now I am kind of over the Bullet Club, and they were featured very heavily this weekend, and I don't know, I just found myself rolling my eyes at it more than anything. But that's not to take away from them. Like I said, they are super talented. That's just me. Just me. But other than being annoyed by that, no, the weekend was fine. I enjoyed it. It's great wrestling. What more can you ask for?
Something I took out of the weekend. This is going to be my last thought on it, and I mean, you guys can chime in if you want. But then we're gonna roll on to the rest of the show. But what I felt from it was more so New Japan isn't trying to beat WWE. It's not going out there like WCW was in the Monday Night Wars. They're very much trying to be different. They're very much paving paving their own road in this industry, making sure several times in the commentary to call themselves professional wrestling and not sports entertainment. WWE calls it like it is. They're sports entertainment. And New Japan is taking a very different approach to what they do, and it's a good thing to do so. I'm not saying it's natural competition, and that's good. Competition means better things for the fans. I'm gonna go geek related. When DC and Marvel compete, we are the ones that benefit. We're the ones getting really good movies, or in DC's case, not good movies. But they're trying, and we're getting what we want. And the same thing is going to happen here, where New Japan is putting together some great shows. It's going to force WWE to take notice. I mean, you already look at WWE's track record lately. They're signing indie guys when they normally wouldn't. They're using those indie names, not making them change their names almost all the time. So things are changing within the WWE, and a lot of it has to do with the indies and with New Japan. But I like the fact that New Japan clearly isn't going out there to beat WWE. They want to be something different. I think if you go out and try to beat WWE, you end up where TNA is.
Yeah. That's a great point.
I think you have to don't pay attention to what they're doing, but at the same time, do what you're going to do based off what you think's going to work. And that's New Japan's been doing that just fine in Japan, and I think it's going to do just fine here as well. So that's all I wanted to say on it. Because
and which, by the way, they announced at the shows that they are going to be coming back sometime next year. I think it was already announced like April or March of next year. So
and Kenny said they will run that place by the time they get back there.
Yeah,
Bullet Club will be running that place. So sorry, Monroe.
It's okay. I don't have a problem with it.
I know.
I don't think that's the way it's going to go. But
no. That's just the hype. That's you got to get the hype machine.
Right. Of course,
the hype machine rolling. All right. So New Japan. I'm just dipping my toes in. It's been a couple months. I'm enjoying what I've seen so far. So if you're on the edge, if you're on the borderline, go out there, give it a try. Watch Access TV. You can see some of the replays and stuff like that. You can feel your way into it. It's really good wrestling. So, it's different. You really got to put yourself out there as a wrestling fan because you don't know these names. These faces aren't necessarily familiar to you, but you'll become a fan pretty easily if you're a fan of wrestling. So, all right, let's move on. I kind of want to talk for a second because a Blu-ray DVD thing came out this week. Briefly want to talk about Fight Owens Fight, the Kevin Owens story, because I loved it. It reminded me why I love Kevin Owens so much and the character, and why as soon as he got called up, I bought a Kevin Owens shirt and wore it to the gym every single day. He's not the WWE guy. He's a big dude. And he's not the prototype, but he's a genius. He's one of the best on the microphone, and he's out there to prove that everybody who's doubted him, it was wrong. And in the DVD itself, Seth Rollins says, I told him straight to his face, unless you lose weight and change, you'll never make it here. There's a moment when he got called up to face John Cena. Vince McMahon told him not to tell anybody why he's here. And he said, well, you got me in my gear. They're going to ask me why I'm in my gear. What do I tell him? And he said, tell him to F off. He's like, I'm not going to say that, but okay. So he's sitting down at catering, eating his meal, and Seth Rollins comes over and sits by him, and he's cutting steak. And he's making sure to tell him he's cutting, showing he's cutting steak. He says, what are you doing here? He's like, I got a match. He stops. He's like, okay. Against who? He's like, actually, I'm going to take out Cena tonight. And Seth Rollins throws his knife down. He's like, you're kidding me. Like, he was floored. He didn't know it. He's like one of his best friends, and he didn't believe it. Just because he knows what WWE looks for. And Kevin Owens isn't that guy. What's great about it is he's a family guy. You get to see a different side of Kevin Owens. You get to see him from the start to where he is essentially at WrestleMania. Before he, while he had the Universal Championship. It's great. It's a great little anthology. A lot of stuff in there that I didn't know about, of course. They do dig into how Cornette hated him and Sami Zayn. It's pretty funny.
What about like any Ring of Honor footage or anything like that?
Oh, tons of it.
Really?
Tons of Ring of Honor. Because they talked to Steve Carino a lot. He's interviewed a lot. And then
right.
I forget his name, but he's a writer for WWE. and he worked with Kevin and Carino a lot. Jay something was his name.
Jimmy Jacobs.
Jimmy Jacobs, yes.
Yeah.
He's a writer now
Sure.
for WWE, and so they talked to him a lot about all that.
He and Seth Rollins were a tag team.
Yeah, you're right.
Yep. They sure were.
Yeah.
They took the belts from him, I think.
They make it a point. Sammy.
Don't give it all away.
No. They show his first promo like it's a tryout. He's doing tryouts, and they're like, "Now you got to do a promo." He cuts this promo. Man, it floored me. Like, they need to let him do this every night. This kind of stuff. It was real. It felt so real, and I won't tell you what it was about because it actually was real. But yeah, I definitely recommend it. Check it out. I'm sure it'll be on the network within a year. I don't know how long they wait because most of that stuff usually is on the network. Like the Paul Heyman one is on there now, and all that stuff. But I own 3 of those WWE DVDs: the Attitude Era, the CM Punk one. Sorry, Monroe. And now Fight Owens Fight.
Apologize for your fandom.
Don't apologize to me. No.
I just try to go through an episode without saying his name at least once, 1 week.
Impossible.
Screw that.
Those are the 3 I own, and those are the 3 I can rewatch over and over because, not so much the Attitude Era one, but they're very motivating. The message is great. Also, the Fight Owens Fight one, beautifully shot. It felt like a WWE 24 special, and those are beautiful.
And I heard it was a great success too. So
yeah, it's doing real well. Yeah, that's
a good sign.
I had to search high and low at Best Buy to find it. It wasn't the easiest thing to find. You think it's a new release, put it with the new releases, but no, it's a WWE new release, so we'll tuck it away somewhere. But it's great. I enjoy it. Highly recommend it. Go check it out, guys. I think it's probably on iTunes, so if you can't find a Blu-ray or just want to rent it,
sweet,
do that. All right. Anything that happened on SmackDown, Raw, or NXT that we want to talk about before we get into our Great Balls of Fire preview?
Well, I guess I have a question.
Oh, yes.
Well, Monday opened with Enzo, and he cut another great promo, which surprised me because he rambles sometimes, and it's like, okay, shut up, Enzo.
I think he went on longer than he was supposed to, too.
Yeah, he let the music start, and he came back, and like he forgot something. Oh, by the way, it was weird, but it was still a good promo.
Yeah.
And my question is, what to do with Enzo now?
It's like his future?
Yeah.
I don't know. This was too soon. Way too soon. It also doesn't feel like I care about them breaking up because they hadn't done anything together.
Exactly.
They were entertaining, for sure. But I'd have preferred them doing a heel turn than anything.
Maybe he'll go for like the Intercontinental Championship, something along those lines. I don't know.
I
205
think,
Live.
Yeah, I think 205 is probably his best fit.
Beats me, dude.
They need a guy that's over to kind of maybe wake up that crowd. I don't know why, but
do we want Enzo wrestling now?
No,
Like,
we don't. We don't.
No.
I'd prefer him being a manager.
Enzo is a manager. That's a manager. Stop trying to make him wrestle. That is Jimmy Hart right there. He is not a wrestler.
Maybe,
so I don't know why they did this.
Here it is. He takes over as the mouthpiece for Carmella. That crickets.
He should be Roman Reigns' mouthpiece.
Oh.
Hey, I'd be okay.
You
want to
mess with the guy? You want to mess with the guy? Oh, I would love it.
I'd be okay with that. Yeah, absolutely. He could have just been a mouthpiece for Cass and been done with it. But I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know why they didn't go that route.
I don't think they know. I don't. From what I can tell,
maybe Cass is going to humble him at Great Balls of Fire, and he's going to be like, "All right, I'll just be your manager, Cass. Please stop being mad at me."
Right?
Yeah,
I love you,
they're
bro.
already wrestling each other. Like, what is happening right now? I don't know. I just thought that was I mean, it's I don't know.
I don't know, man. I just feel like between Bayley, Finn Balor, they have a lot of people on Monday Night Raw they have no idea what they're doing with. And it bleeds over to SmackDown, too, with Ty Dillinger, with a lot of people.
Yeah. It's quite interesting because when I talk about WWE kind of hoarding talent, this is what it leads to. I mean, there's a lot of guys here who could probably be getting time elsewhere, and they're just floundering. I mean, what are these guys doing? I don't know.
I don't know about floundering. That kind of takes the onus on them. I think they're just lost in the shuffle, unfortunately.
Well, yeah,
I know what you meant. I know what you meant.
That's what I meant.
Yeah, I know you weren't going
I know
at
what
them.
I know what you're saying. That's a good point.
But yeah, we talked about it. Is there such a thing as too much talent? I mean, you're looking at Maria and Mike. They're not doing anything but talking.
Well, yeah. I mean, what did they even come to WWE for? Why even sign those guys to a contract?
You can tell they're building to a Sammy program, which I'm into. Let's do it. But it's taken a slow build.
Yeah, it is.
A very slow build.
So.
I would just rather, because now Sammy's not doing anything. Get Sammy in there. I want Sammy fighting. Sammy's
Sammy's the man.
He's a matchmaker.
Yes, he is.
For sure.
So get him out there, and Mike's talented too. Those two will have some good chemistry. You got to imagine. But yeah,
on main event.
Yeah.
Unfortunately,
pre-show.
I just want to point out too, and we all know basically where this is going. We all know the ending to this storyline, but I really liked what they've been doing with Joe and Lesnar. It really makes Joe look awesome. And it makes me mad though every time I see it. I love it, but then I get mad because I know Joe is not going to win.
Yeah. And
he deserves to win. And it's just, it pisses me off, man. And it's, I don't know what they're doing.
Just a brief second, one more time for me to say how good 205 Live is. That main event, TJP, Rich Swann, awesome.
Yep. Dead crowd though.
Great match. Exactly. Dead crowd. I mean, the things leading up to it killed it too. I mean, the opening match, the thing, I really want to like Titus O'Neil in this capacity. I can't. I don't like it.
And I don't mind it.
And it just killed the beginning of the show for me. It took too long, I think.
Yeah, it did.
Is
sure.
more so what I meant. I like that Neville's going after him. That gives that division some credibility against outside their division, which they should.
Yes.
But yeah, in all honesty, we'll talk about it when we get to the card. In fact, let's just jump into it. Anything else before we get into the preview?
Well, yeah, there was SmackDown too. Cena came back and cut a Cena promo. We all know what that is.
Yeah, we remember those.
And then
how
Rusev
exciting
returned, and now they have a match, and it's like
flag on a pole match or something.
Flag on a pole. How else is this going to turn out? We all know how this is going to turn out. What has Rusev done to make people so mad to where he has to lose like this so often? He's so charismatic. He's solid in the ring. I don't understand.
He's got the wrong gimmick. He's 2017 Nikolai Volkov and John Cena's Hulk Hogan. It's like, dude, you're just gonna get beat. Or John Cena's Sergeant Slaughter. It's gonna end, dude. You're done. It's like he can't get in any other feud that doesn't involve America versus outsider. And I can't stand it because to me that's lazy booking. Rusev is so damn talented.
Yes, he is.
He deserves so much better than that crap about Americans and pigs and all this. Come on. I'm over it. It's just like I'm over that with Jinder Mahal too. Can we stop with this? Like, I don't even know what they're doing. Frustrating.
Just yelling at a cloud, huh? Well, also, they had the Styles and Gable match, which was great. They needed more time. It would have been awesome.
Yeah.
I don't know if Jordan is hurt. I really don't think they should break them up yet. But I've been a fan of Gable since I've seen this tag team. I said he was the talent of the group, and I would be happy to see a singles run with him. I just don't think now is the time. But Vince hasn't really been a big fan of tag teams, has he, over the years?
I don't know. This should really be a renaissance for tag team division right now, and it seems like they're just kind of crushing it.
I don't. There's a real disconnect. We discussed it too with like the difference between NXT and the main roster.
Yeah.
I don't understand how NXT can get it so right and WWE can take this gold and turn it back into a turd. Like, usually you go and you take turds and polish them into gold. They're like turning gold into turds. It's fascinating to see, actually.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing, and it only gets worse. I mean, after that, of course, I'm so over Carmella and Ellsworth, and Carmella still gets no reaction. They try to take Ellsworth away to see if people will still care just about Carmella, and they still don't.
Yeah, of course.
And I don't understand what they're doing with Lana and Naomi. I don't get it.
And now
yeah,
Lana,
that whole segment, as a person who hadn't watched WWE in a long time, that confused the hell out of me. Why the hell did Tamina come down there and just like stare at her?
Well, that's
that
the thing.
So
yeah.
weird.
Now is she gonna like mentor her, or is she gonna be like the Diesel?
Yeah, I guess Lana's gonna be her AJ. I don't know. I don't know why they just won't give her a single whatever. But not even just that. If you're gonna hype up, how long were they hyping up Lana coming to SmackDown with those vignettes or whatever? They were hyping her up, and her 3 matches that she's had since she debuted on SmackDown, she lost all 3. 2 were squashes. What's the point? Why do all that? I mean, Emma has fallen to the same booking. Why do all of that to hype her return or debut, and she just been squashed? I mean, I'm not a Lana fan, but damn, come on with that.
Yeah.
But then she just keeps getting title matches. What are they doing? What's the end game here? I don't get it. And now Tamina stumbled her way to the ring, and she yelled at Lana to get up, and then that was it. Oh, huh?
I don't even think they know what they're doing.
It blows my mind.
Where they're going.
I don't know, man. And the last thing I'm going to mention about SmackDown, and I want to get into NXT after this, was the rap battle that they had.
Yeah, I left. I didn't watch it. I didn't even watch it.
I turned it off. I went to go see fireworks.
Well, you missed it because it was actually pretty funny. We all know the New Day and the Usos are friends, and I guess they don't mind taking jabs at each other. Even a Paige mention got there.
Well, I mean, even Big E was doing that to Woods after it happened.
Yeah, he was. But that ended up being funnier than I expected. I thought it was going to be a train wreck, and it wasn't. But I will say, kudos to, and I think the best person in this whole segment was actually the host, Wale. Wale is a wrestling fan. He's been a wrestling fan for a very long time, and it shows. He is an obvious mark, and he was a great host. He wasn't overbearing. He didn't step in when he wasn't supposed to. It was actually kind of funny. He did his job, and he got out of there. It was perfect. If you're going to have a celebrity do anything, cause that would never stop in WWE. That's not going to stop. But if you want to have a celebrity do something, keep it at that capacity. Keep it how Wale did it. You know, he watched the product. He know what it is. He knows his place, and he stayed in it. Keep doing that. Yeah, as far as the rest of SmackDown, I don't even think I saw it. I didn't see the Battle Royal. I'm glad AJ won, but whatever. And then I want to just mention NXT just really quickly, if I could. The Bobby Roode versus Rod Strong match was actually very good. It was very good. And I really liked the ending and the booking of that match because, I mean, Bobby Roode is a great heel, and I think Rod Strong is like, he's so clean, squeaky clean babyface. We haven't seen that in a while. And he, as far as the guys go, because Bayley was that squeaky clean babyface. But he's a perfect foil for Bobby Roode, and they had a great match. I don't know if you saw it, Dave, but go back and watch it.
I heard one person say that was the perfect time to change hands, for the title to change hands.
It really was.
And
Roderick Strong is the perfect guy to be champion. I was going to say, WWE needs more guys like Roderick Strong, because if they book him properly, this guy has major star potential.
Yes.
And I mean, as a babyface, you look at all of the great heels WWE has right now, they are seriously lacking in this squeaky clean, good guy role. And Rod Strong is one of those guys who plays it perfectly and is really, really good in the ring on top of it. Yeah, I really hope he gets the match. I hope, because I heard that McIntyre is supposed to get the match for the title at TakeOver Brooklyn 3. Well, I hope it's a triple threat match because I want Roderick to be the champion. He deserves it, and he is what is best for that product.
You gotta feel like that's where they're going, especially with the vignettes for Rod and things like that. The character building they're doing with that is outstanding.
Yes, it worked too. He's pretty over.
And then bringing his wife to the show, all good things.
Yeah.
No, I didn't get a chance to watch it yet, but it definitely, before you even brought it up, I know I meant to watch it today. I just ran out of time.
Yeah, go watch it. It's a good one.
I intend to. Thank you. All right, well, let's get into the GBoF of the weekend.
GBoF.
The first ever Great Ball of Fire pay-per-view.
Balls.
And hopefully the last, because they'll just, change it back to something like Vengeance or something, go back to something like that. But yeah, let's get into it. Thanks to the guys at PW Scorecards on Twitter. Check them out. They made these awesome scorecards. You guys can play along with us. And eventually, we will do a giveaway where the person who beats all of our scores, gets a higher score than us, will win something.
Oh, boy.
So, more incentive to not only listen to our podcast, but also to check out those guys at PW Scorecards on Twitter and Facebook.
Yeah, they do great work.
They really do.
So, let's dig into it. All right, so they got listed here in no specific real order here. Well, I guess it is. The pre-show is the Cruiserweight Championship. Never mind. Before we start, it's a stacked card, guys. I hate to say it, but this looks like a good show. It's weird to say.
Paper.
Right.
This looks like an awesome show.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yeah.
I'm really excited for it.
So, all right, Cruiserweight Championship. Now, all right, I'll explain things after. I got a theory on the Cruiserweight division going forward. But, so I'll start. I got Neville retaining via submission with 3 aerial moves in the match. Monroe?
I have Neville retaining by submission with 4 area moves.
Oh, I see what you did there. All right. Mr. John?
Let's see. I am going to go with Neville via submission. Number of aerial moves, 4.
All right. I feel like 205 Live is doing a bit of NXT work with Mustafa Ali. I think they're building a great face character there. He's tons of talent. His match on Raw against Neville is money. Those guys put on a show. I feel like they're going to put on a good feud towards SummerSlam, and I think maybe not SummerSlam, but I think Ali is going to be the first person to take the title away from Neville. And I think he should.
Yeah, I totally agree with that. And also a very underrated storyline he had with Drew Gulak.
Yeah.
They both did very well with that no-fly zone thing. It was very entertaining, and they had good matches.
Yeah, it even got commentary.
Very underrated.
I should say the new guy on 205 Live commentary sucks.
Oh, to my Corey Graves, the remix?
Yeah, whatever that guy is, he's terrible.
Yeah, I don't know.
I preferred listening to Titus O'Neil talk than he did in that opening match. Anyway, all right, moving on. Singles match: Enzo versus Big Cass. I'm so used to it. All right, Monroe, start us off.
I have Big Cass just destroying Enzo because people like to see Enzo get destroyed. And I have him actually not being able to retain himself, so it's by DQ. And would it be a fight anytime before or after?
Wait.
Yes.
So he would Enzo would win then.
Well, oh, that's right. Holy crap. So Enzo, I'm testing you. You won. Good job.
I know my rules. All right,
there you go.
DQ, and you said yes to a fight?
Yes to a fight.
All right.
Sorry.
Nope, I got you. I just misheard you. All right. John, where you stand?
Exactly the same as her. Enzo by DQ with a fight before the match.
All right. I got Cass winning via pinfall and yes fighting. I think it's going to be a little more restrained. If anybody's going to go crazy, it's going to be Enzo to start, and I think Cass is just to squash him. We'll see. It could go a lot of ways.
This is true.
All right, John, the 30-minute Iron Man tag team match for the titles. Cesaro and Sheamus versus the Hardy Boys.
The boys. And aren't Cesaro and Sheamus now known as the Bar?
Are they? Because good.
No, they're not.
No, I thought they said on Raw, we are the Bar.
They say that, but they're not. That's not their name.
Oh,
I
okay.
would prefer it over just two names, to be honest.
I don't mind.
We are the Bar. Good God. The Hardy Boys are going to win the titles back. First tag to score a fall, Cesaro and Sheamus. Superstar with the most falls, Jeff Hardy. Superstar taking the most falls, Sheamus. Total number of falls, 3.
Wait. It's the most falls in 30 minutes wins, right?
Yes. I think so, right?
So
Yeah.
you have Jeff making the most falls, which would be 2 if there's a total number of falls of 3.
Yes.
That would make the Hardys win.
That's what I said.
Oh, that's right. You
isn't
had
it?
the Hardys win. I'm sorry. You were right. My bad.
Yes, sir.
My mistake. I apologize. Okay.
No, you're good.
All right.
You're good.
I also have the Hardys winning. I have same thing. Cesaro and Sheamus to take score first fall. Making the most falls, I have Sheamus. I have I flipped them. Matt making the most falls. Sheamus taking the most falls. And I have 5.
Wow. Okay.
All right.
Does this have disqualifications and stuff?
No, because I don't think so.
I don't think
Because it's
so.
an Iron Man match. I think you can kind of do whatever you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Moonrow.
I have Cesaro and Sheamus retaining.
Okay.
First tag team to score be Cesaro and Sheamus. Cesaro make the most. Matt takes the most because he's gonna break soon. Probably not. And
every month we're doing this.
You know it. Every little thing Matt does is gonna cause him to break.
That's right.
But 5 falls for me.
All right. Moving on to the Intercontinental Championship match: The Miz with Maurice, Curtis Axel, and Bo Dallas, otherwise known as the Miztourage, I guess, versus Dean Ambrose. I have Miz retaining and ending this feud, hopefully, via pinfall, no promo, and I have Axel and Bo interfering, and I'm guessing that you only get 1 point if they both do it. Or 1 set of points. You don't get 3 per person for guessing, is my guess. Monroe?
I have The Miz retaining by pin, 0 for the promo, and everybody will interfere. Everybody that's out there.
How do you spell?
Maurice, Curtis Axel, Bo Dallas.
How do you
whatever.
spell everybody?
Everybody.
Renee Young.
Renee. Yeah.
A shout out to the Fashion Police for that segment with Renee Young, fake Renee Young. Am I the one that saw that? Tyler Breeze dressed up like Renee Young and interviewed Ty Dillinger, and in the background, Fandango was pretending to be like a maintenance guy. And it was pretty great. It was pretty great. All right, Curtis Axel, Bo. All right, John.
Miz retaining via pinfall, no pre-match promo, and all of them interfere.
John, stop taking mine. You're just copying my card.
All right.
You're really smart.
All right now.
This is true.
Take it as a compliment.
Singles match, kind of a... Whoa, sounds like a vacuum cleaner.
Whoa, Dave?
Nah, ain't me.
Okay.
There ain't nothing going on over here. I'm the only one home. Sounds like an air conditioner, too.
What is going on?
This is so strange.
There's a plane taking off in somebody's house.
We are having technical difficulties.
All right, so singles match. Seth Rollins versus Bray Wyatt. Monroe, who you got?
I got Seth Rollins. I think Bray's still in the doghouse for cheating. So, Seth Rollins by
In the
pin.
doghouse for cheating.
Yeah. Yeah.
Did Seth get in trouble for those pictures getting released?
He wasn't cheating.
Oh, man.
That's true.
Anyway, before I was rudely interrupted.
Get
Seth
over
Rollins by pin, no theatrics, and 3 finishers.
All right, John.
Oh, yeah, Vince loves guys who cheat, especially if they can like cheat with JoJo. Bray Wyatt wins the match. He's gonna win it by pinfall, no theatrics, and he's gonna hit 2 finishers.
Okay.
I've got Seth winning because Bray doesn't win, no matter who he's having sex with.
Wow.
Via pinfall, no theatrics, 3 finishers. All right. Women's Championship match. Alexa Bliss versus The Boss. Sasha Banks.
Shasha,
John, start us off.
Shasha. Well, Alexa Bliss is gonna win. Outside interference or distraction. Let's say it's gonna be by submission.
Oh, I didn't
With
know.
outside interference or distraction. Number of finishers, 3.
Does she have a submission move yet? Oh, yes.
She gonna submit with.
That's what I was wondering. That's a good question.
Oh,
Nope, you can't change. You can't change.
sheep. Let's change that back to pinfall there, Dave.
All right.
Good job, Dave.
I got the Boss.
Thanks for hitting the eat button on my swear there.
Yeah, I'm all over it. I got the Boss winning the title back via submission. Yes to outside interference or distraction with 4, count them, 4 finishers. Monroe.
Talk to corporate like a boss.
Looking forward to a great match between these two. I think Alexa is going to retain. Sasha does not win on pay-per-views. This is by a pin, outside interference or distraction. Yes, 3 finishers.
Okay.
Talk about stealing someone's answers.
Oh boy.
Get out of here. Now, leave.
You're
I've
done.
been peeking over my shoulder.
Ambulance match. Roman Reigns versus Braun Strowman.
Good job.
I got Reigns winning. Braun to be the first to open the door. The match does move backstage. They will fight on top of the ambulance. And no, it does not get tipped over. Monroe?
I have Roman winning, always. I have him as the first one to open the door. And yes, and yes.
All right. John?
Ramen Rones wins the match.
What flavor?
Chicken.
Chicken or beef?
Shrimp.
Shrimp.
Yes.
Oh.
First superstar to open the ambulance door is Big Braun. Does the match move backstage? No. Fight. Well, yes. Scratch it. Yes, because they're going to have to drive the ambulance back. So yes. Fight on or on top of the ambulance. On top. What? No. Does the ambulance get tipped over? No. The ambulance does not get tipped over.
Probably not. He'll probably try, and then he'll get hit or something. I don't know.
Maybe.
Just a quick review. Was I the only one who picked Roman Reigns?
No,
No.
we all did.
Okay.
Yep, we all did. All right. Universal Championship match. What we all paid to see. Brock Lesnar with Paul Heyman versus Samoa Joe. Monroe.
I don't care. I'm going to pick Joe.
You son of a bitch.
Oh, whoa.
Jeez,
Shots
John.
fired. Shots
Seriously?
fired.
Get out of here.
You know her
now.
mom? You know her mom? That ain't cool.
Yeah, I'm gonna pick Joe. I don't care what happens. Joe is the winner of my heart. By submission, will there be blood? Yes, there will be blood.
My gimmick.
Number of suplexes, probably 5. I had 10, don't put 5, because Joe is gonna stop some of them. This is Joe is down in the corner. And 3 finishers.
Does a suplex count as a finisher? No, I suppose
I
not.
don't think so.
I suppose not. It does not.
No.
All right, John, Joe.
Yeah.
Oh, let me say, Tom wants Joe to win, but he feels Brock will win. So he wanted me to put that out there.
Okay.
Yeah, I think we all feel that way.
Yeah.
I think. Yeah. Let's go with Brock. Let's get the points. Via pinfall.
Thinking with your mind.
Yeah, exactly. Will there be blood? No. Number of suplexes. You get 5. Number of finishers. 5.
Round it
5?
out.
Where's Biggie?
I like
5.
What?
5?
Well, yeah, because I think Joe's going to hook the coquina on a couple times, not just once.
Sure.
And I think
Yeah.
Lesnar's going to have to hit him with more than just one F5 to beat him.
Hit him with it, Zoe.
So
No more. We'll never get it again.
No more. Nope.
All right. You know what? I hope Joe wins via submission. This is where I think there's a KO factor. I think he doesn't answer the count. I think he knocks him out with the coquina clutch, which I guess is submission, right?
Seriously?
That's
would be
where I
probably the coolest thing that ever happened.
I think it happens, man. I think because you don't make Brock look weak that way, where you do, but it's the lesser of the evils. Yes, there will be blood, 4 suplexes, and 6 finishers. All right.
Will you guys mark out if Joe wins?
Yeah.
Oh,
You won't.
wait. You hear me?
I'll hang up the phone, run around my house screaming, and then I'll come back.
Same.
Okay.
All right.
Probably stay here, but I'll be screaming.
I mean, I'll come back. But all right. Announce table destruction. John, start us off. What's saved? What's destroyed? Are we doing the circle? Yeah, circle them that won't be destroyed. X's on ones that will.
All right. For the Raw pay-per-views, do they ever have 3 tables, or is it just the one on the stage?
Typically, recently, they've had the one on the stage. But remember, I'm not going to help you.
Thank you. Jeez.
I'm sorry, John. You're on your own.
Friggin' cross them all out.
Oh,
They're all going to be destroyed.
it's a good choice. Don't play it safe like Tom. Monroe.
All 3 for me, man.
I was gonna say the English. I mean, there's the ambulance match, which will take place mostly on the ramp.
Mm-hmm.
So they'll be up by that table. But I'm gonna say the English table is safe, and Spanish and German get das destroyed.
Boy.
Das destroyed.
Yeah, I'm sorry, that was bad. All right, unscheduled appearances. Oh man, I didn't time this right. I have to go first. I've got Nia Jax, Finn Balor. I think there'll be a Finn Balor Drifter match thrown on last minute. I think some shenanigans will happen that night, and we'll get a Drifter Finn match because Finn needs to be on the card. I'm sorry. He
does. You're right.
Yes.
Also needing to be on the card, and they'll find their way at some point. The Revival.
Oh man.
Top guys doing top guy things. All right, so that's my 5 because the Revival counts as 2. By the way, a tag team counts as 2. All right, Monroe.
Tag team counts as 2.
Yeah, it says teams count as multiple selections.
So I got to take somebody away.
I'll let it count this time.
Dave, mine are exactly the same as yours.
Oh.
So there you go.
Oh, I don't know who to take away. You know what? Forget it. I'm not going to put the Revival. Whatever. I already lost because I didn't pick Brock anyway. I have Finn Balor, Elias, Nia Jax, Emma, and Bailey.
Oh, really?
Wow.
Okay.
Just because they were on my mind. No, if Sasha wins, I see Bailey coming out
Sure, that makes sense.
and celebrating with her, maybe planting some seeds there.
Some Emma stuff in the back.
Maybe some Emma stuff. I think she interfered in some match they had and attacked somebody. I forgot. So if not them two, then definitely Nia Jax. So I'll just put all three.
All right, that's our scorecards. It's official here. The pen is being closed. You heard it.
Close the pen.
All right,
Ring the bell.
and that wraps up our show. Good stuff. We
How about that?
will review our scorecards and name a winner next week. Next week we will also be talking about who we see, past, present, as matchmakers, meaning guys that can carry a match, guys that make other people look better. Guys or girls, excuse me. Yes, that make other people look better, not necessarily because the other person's not good. It's just that this person is so good that they elevate the other person. The specific people that do that. That's a job within the profession. So we'll talk about those next week. We'll also begin the hype of SmackDown Battleground. We'll talk about whatever else is coming up for New Japan. I have no idea what's next.
The G1 Climax.
Is that really? That's
Yeah.
in August, right?
Yeah, it actually starts in July, though.
Okay.
Last few weeks of July, so.
Sure. All right. Yeah, we'll start talking about that, and I'm sure we'll get an interview with Tom Strowman at some point after this ambulance match. I mean, we're gonna get him on the phone.
Yeah, gotta give him a call. It's in his contract now, so.
It's true. He did get this night off. I don't know how that worked. We're all here. We're working.
Well, he's a big match guy, so.
That's true. Prize fighter. All right. Social medias. John, how can the peoples find you?
I am at John Neave, JohnNeave, on the Instagram, and at xjohnneave, same spelling, on Twitter.
Moonroe. Same question.
Enough with that. Okay.
Sorry.
Enough.
Sorry.
Sailor Moon, bro.
No. On Twitter, EFTS_ENT. Come tell me how much you hate me because I don't like the Bullet Club, and I'll tell you how much I don't care. And on whatever. On YouTube, I have the Storm Entertainment.
Awesome. And you can find both of them featured on the most recent podcast episode of the Atomic Geekdom podcast, wherein they hang out with a bunch of drunk people for about a half hour.
It was a lot of fun.
It was interesting.
I would definitely do that again. Thank you for having me.
I'm sure we'll get you guys on at some point. You can find us, the Ringside Geeks, at Ringside Geeks on Facebook, on Twitter, on Instagram, and on YouTube. Like, subscribe, tell your friends, all of that good stuff. I think that's all. Anything else, guys?
Enjoy the weekend. Enjoy the show, everybody.
There you go. Yeah, regardless of what happens, try to have fun. Stay positive. Remember, it's just a TV show.
Yeah. Enjoy those balls.
Enjoy the balls on fire.
You heard it from her first.
That is what she said.
Hey, that worked.
Michael Scott.
It actually is what she said.
Yep.
All right, guys. We'll see you next week.
See ya.